Yeah, I'm aware that this episode's late, and I apologize, but yesterday I had one of those days where I was just having burnouts and also suffering some congestion from allergy stuff. You know how it is. So, I apologize for the delay, but we are back again. So, let's dive into this episode and finish off the first event of the UA Sports Festival. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Emerson Station, your sister for anything and everything animation, including pro heroes saving the world, as well as TV and movies. Yeah, that's the one I'm going to use from now on, I think. And let's talk about episode 16 of My Hero Academia, aka season 2, episode 3, In Their Own Quirky Ways. This is the episode where we get the conclusion of the obstacle race, the first event of the UA Sports Festival. And it's a pretty great conclusion, so once again, I do have the summary pulled up here on my computer, but I'm only going to go over the main points. I'm not going to spend time reading over every single detail. So it starts off with Todoroki gaining an early lead after freezing the 0-point villain, carrying over from the last episode. Then we have Kirishima and Tetsutetsu getting trapped underneath the robot, but they break out because of their defensive hardening quirks. And then Kirishima reacts to Tetsutetsu having pretty much the same quirk as him, except it's metal instead of rock, which, yeah, I will admit that is pretty funny that they made the characters such relatable, like, twins of each other. It's hilarious. Then, of course, Bakugo's using his explosions, followed by Seto using his tape, Tokoyami's dark shadow, pretty much everyone else. Then after that comes the fall, where they have to get through a giant cavern of giant floating objects. And this one we do get to see a few other characters and use their quirk. Like, yes, we have things like Ida using his speed to, like, balance on these ropes that are connecting these platforms. Then you have other characters like Mei Hatsume, that's her name. Mei Hatsume using her gear and gadgets to get over it, and making all the girls jealous in the process, which I actually find kind of funny. And then, this is also the reveal where we get the reveal that Todoroki is the son of Endeavor. I forgot about that. My bad. So then, after that, they all get across that, and then they reach the final part, the minefield. And this is where we get some hilarity, because we have some characters spinning around circles like ragdolls. We have other characters struggling to get around all the mines, going slow, or as some other characters just trying to fly over it. And of course you have Deku, who is starting to catch up now because he got over the canyon and he got past the robot. So now he's almost right up neck and neck with Todoroki and Bakugo. So Deku decides to actually sacrifice his placement for a little while and comes up with an absolutely ingenious move. He uses a piece of the robot to dig out these mines, put them in a giant pile, and ride this piece of robot like it's a sled, all the way up in the air, which gets him all the way up to Bakugo and Todoroki. But then he realizes he has to do it again, so he takes that same piece of robot, slams it on the ground as hard as he can, holding it only by one of the little wires, which gives him a little bit of propulsion, and then he just sprints. Like, legit clever job by the writers for actually coming up with such a unique and interesting way to get Deku to actually win against Bakugo and Todoroki. Like, legit clever. So, Midoriya wins the race, and All Might is incredibly happy and surprised. And then they announce the next event, the Cavalry Battle. And then this is where they will be split into teams, and each team has a different amount of points, bearing on how much they've placed. And Izuku, because he got first place, is worth 10 million points, which leads to everyone literally staring him down with daggers in their eyes. And we get this funny visual which I'm not going to show right now because it's actually the thumbnail for the next episode review because it's just too funny. Where suddenly everything goes black and red, and everyone stares down Deku with these red eyes of death. Oh my goodness, it is so funny. Like, it's so simple, but for some reason, it is so funny. The way that they over-exaggerate everyone's expressions in this one part. It is so funny. So, yeah, that's pretty much the episode, though. Outside of that and the reveal that Todoroki is the son of Endeavor, that's pretty much all we get in this episode. So let's go ahead and move on to our final thoughts. It's another great watch, but it's much more straightforward than the previous two were, as it's pretty much just nothing but the end of the obstacle race and the beginning exposition for the cavalry battle. That's by no means a bad thing, but that's pretty much all that happens in this one, so don't expect much else besides that, or you will be disappointed. Like, if you go into this expecting the festival to be like half the plot and then the other half being forwarding of the overarching story going on in the background, yeah, throw that away. This is a lot like the tournament arcs in Dragon Ball. It focuses only on the tournaments with maybe little bits of character development here and there. So, yeah, don't expect much development in the overarching story. This is more about just the UA Sports Festival. However, huge props to the writers for coming up with a very clever solution to help Deku get through the ending minefield. I legit did not see that coming, and it really shows how smart he can be as a character. Like, I would argue that Deku's intelligence is one of his actual quirks. Like, it is so useful. Overall, it's a great watch with a very satisfactory ending, as well as one of the funniest visuals of the series so far, the red screen moment. So, yep, nothing else to say. Thanks for watching. Final verdict, 8 out of 10. Check it out if you haven't already. It's a great episode. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Plus Ultra content like this almost every single day. And I'll see you guys next time for the next episode. Strategy, strategy, strategy. Yes, that's the actual title. Why? I don't know. Japanese, I guess. Thanks for watching. See you next time, heroes.